I'll just start with a little bit of background about myself and my little story. Yeah, so and how I kind of got all into this. I left school about when I was about, I would say, 18. Didn't know what to do. The careers officers and everything were absolutely rubbish. Didn't work. I got accidentally into accountancy. Started working in a travel agency in London and living in Milton Keynes. So yeah, I started studying as well in the evening, doing accountancy. I enjoyed it at the beginning. Then 2 years later, I got another job in accountancy. Um, I kept changing jobs because I think after a while, 6 months into a year, I used to just get totally bored. So accountancy is kind of doing the same thing over and over again. Then we had the whole boom of the IT, and I thought, oh, I would like to get into IT. If you all remember the little floppies we used to have, all I knew is how to put that into the machine, and that's it, and off you go. So a lot of people said to me, "Oh, you're too late to get into IT. Stick to accountancy." So I used Sage because I was using accounts I was using Sage, the accounts package. So I decided to train in Sage and also do a course with Sage where you would do the installation, the sales, and everything. And I really kind of enjoyed that because I think that took me out of the office as a sitting there all day long and doing the same thing. So after studying all that and working with Sage resellers and Sage itself in Newcastle. We moved, I got married, then we moved to Spain. Spent 4 years in Spain. Liam had already arrived, and that's now 20 years ago because he's 20 now. That's the only way I remember it. So yeah, we moved to Spain for 4 years. It was absolutely fantastic. I worked in Gibraltar with using my Sage and my accountancy with Victor Chandler, mainly gambling companies. And I used to travel in, so in from Spain into Gibraltar. And put it this way, in August, it was so hot and you had to walk through the runway basically when the planes weren't there, and you could feel the heat on your legs because it's so hot. But it was a lovely experience, and unfortunately, we had to come back because of the uh, um, the recession when the financial global thing happened in 2008. We came back empty-handed, which was a shame because we decided to sell our property here and stay in Spain. But everything just fell to pieces in Spain. I think they just saw it as a slowdown, while we realised that it's not going to be a slowdown. It's going to be pretty serious. Came back to the UK. My husband, who's now my ex-husband, got back into IT, started working, and then I started working as well. It's I got back into accountancy working for Milton Keynes Chambers of Commerce, and then I still was trying to look for something I really enjoyed. So we went into travel, becoming a travel consultant. It was very difficult, and in many ways, I'm glad I kind of opted out of it because what's happened recently. Um, but I do enjoy traveling. That's why I thought, that's where my passion is. That's what I want to do. But that didn't pan out the way we hoped to. Decided then, why don't I do a recruitment agency in accountancy? That didn't kind of worked out very well either. So I try to always find something that I would enjoy and do because I wasn't enjoying accountancy. And I felt it's been now 30 years I've been doing that. Wanted a massive change in something. While that was happening, Brian and I was having issues with our relationship. So we 2009, we went to a marriage counselor, which was absolutely rubbish. Did not work, did not solve anything, and it wasn't, it's more about, I think, for them making us come back and come back again. I didn't want to spend 6 months trying to fix one little problem. So we decided to call it quits in 2019, which really it was probably the most devastating time for me that decided to call it quits. Then I sat there looking at the computer and thinking, what am I going to do? What's, it's something that you kind of, it is the worst time of your life. If anyone's been through something like that. So I just happened to be Googling and Google learn how to learn, because that was one of my biggest problems, where accountancy was great because it's numbers and I enjoy numbers, but actually learning how to learn, I didn't know how to remember things and how to do that. So I Googled it and Mind Valley came up and a guy called Jim Quick was on there. So I did the course. I said, before I do anything, I need to really learn how to keep this in my memory, and why I'm not keeping it, because I just thought I'm just stupid, because that's what I was told as a child at school. And I did not realize I was dyslexic until I discovered Liam was dyslexic. And unfortunately, it is inherited. It comes from the family. So I joined Mind Valley, and then all of a sudden, he sent a masterclass. It's absolutely free. Marissa Peers was on there, and it was a masterclass on how to basically solve some of your issues and problems in 90 minutes. And I thought, well, this is going to be a load of fun. How can you sort of problems out in 90 minutes? So I thought, might as well do it, might as well try it. And I was absolutely shocked and amazed on how one of my issues that stemmed back from my childhood, I was able to sort out and deal with it, and how also in a session you let go of that problem and move on. So that's when I thought, wow, I wonder if I could do that, help other people. And all of a sudden, of course, on Facebook, it popped out, do you want to be a therapist for Marissa? And I thought, I've got no experience in that apart from life experience. So I gave her a call and she said, yes, we will train you and train you on absolutely everything that you need to do. So I thought, yeah, why not? Let's do that. So I started doing that. So I became a rapid transformation therapist. So what is that? That is where we get to the root cause, and that is the key thing. A lot of therapy, you don't get to the root cause on why you are stuck, why you're having the same problems, why you're following the same patterns. And it's all about the subconscious. So to want to get to the subconscious, we use hypnotherapy. And we get to it. So, for example, one of my big problems was public speaking. So even during a 1 minute session, I just freak out. And I would wish that, because when it was face to face, that the car would break down, that I would never make it to my meeting and things like that. I was absolutely terrified. So I used this, and I went back to the past, why, how, when, and where it all came from. And again, it came back right from my childhood. When I was a kid, there was my younger brother, my younger sister, and me. We were lined up by my dad, and we had to do our spelling test. My brother would get 10 out of 10. My sister would get 8 out of 10, and I was lucky to get 2 out of 10. And I used to be shit scared, absolutely terrified when we had to do this. So that is where my mind went. And I thought, yeah, you know what? That is the problem, because when you have to stand up or even sit down, or, I used to just get absolutely freaking out. So when I saw that problem and saw how that was affecting me now, I was able to let that go, because I was no longer that little girl at age of 8 when I used to get terrified. So I'm now the adult, and I would let go. So by using rapid transformation therapy, I was able to let go a lot of my issues, and there were loads of them going back. Dad, it was always dad. Everything just went back to the parents and the childhood and family and things like that. Also, coming from a strict, controlling dad as well, there was a lot of problems there for me. So when I used rapid transformation therapy, I was kind of shocked. I did not need to spend 2 years or even 6 months with letting go of one issue. It was literally done within that 90 minutes. And then we had a recording. So you have a recording and you listen to that in a positive way. It's mainly affirmations, but it goes really deep and deep. And also we've got tools where you can have go into the inner child. You can have a conversation with the dialogue with the hurter. So it's using hypnotherapy, using CBT, it's using psychology, it's using psychotherapy, it is using quite a lot of methods which Marissa has picked up and put it all into one, NLP as well. So I started then once lockdown happened, studying this and getting my practitioner course. Once lockdown had finished, then I became a therapist, because therapy, you have to have face-to-face with Marissa for 5 days. So she knows that you're on the right path and you're good at your job and what you're doing. So I then after become a therapist, while we're doing this, these are all the issues that I work with: confidence, trauma, phobias, weight management, addictions, fertility problems. I normally hand the fertility over to somebody else now. I don't really deal with that. Abuse, anything. I work on Zoom and face-to-face, but most of my work is on Zoom. I had a young lady in 2020 during lockdown. She lived in Bristol and she was anorexic. I've never really dealt with anorexic person before, but I had a massive support team behind me with Marissa, who was guiding me and helping me as well. She was only 15 years old. She ended up in Bristol Hospital like twice, because the amount of weight she lost, it was affecting the heart and things like that.
Got 1 minute, Humera.
1 minute, really? Wow. So cut the long story short on that one. She's now off to university. So it was kind of shocking. Within a couple of, it took me like 5 sessions for her to get to that level where she was back to school and thing. So that's how quick it is quick, it is fast. By using hypnotherapy, it does get to the root cause. So I didn't realize, God, blimey, it's been quick. Yeah, so we deal with stress and everything like that. And I will jump then, as I've only got a minute to do who I'm looking for. My qualifications are an NLP. I'm an NLP practitioner. So I moved into obviously break and divorce, and I work with adults and children. Which working with the whole family is very important as well. So they're my main clients. So who I'm looking for managers, HR department, because I can work with companies as well, helping them help their employees with their mental health and well-being. Financial advisors, working with pensions, like I was saying, divorce lawyers are key to me. Business coaches are key to me as well, because people quite often, they can coach the business side, but when it comes to the confidence, the self-esteem, and real deep rooted problems like trauma, is where I can, work with them and collaborate with them. So yeah, and the question is, what would your life be like if you didn't have the problem? That is the question that's so yeah, that's me. Are there any questions?
Well, that's great, because you can have part 2 for your next one.
I'll have to, yeah. Definitely.
And part 3, so you've already got a binge set going, you see. It's great.
It is right that those 10 minutes do certainly fly away very, very, very quickly, don't they? And yeah, we've got part 1, 2, and 3. So back to the stage, yours 1, 2, and 3. So yes, if there is, yes, I think we have got time for a couple of questions, and mine will be Heather, Humera, sorry, that's wonderful presentation. Great to understand a little bit more about you and your journey. So that was really good. My one question, what was the MBIT? What does MBIT stand for?
Yeah, MBIT coaching, I actually thought was going to be really woo-woo kind of stuff. It comes from Australia. MBIT believes that we have 3 brains. That's the brain in here, the heart brain and the gut brain. And there are 500 million neurons that are exactly the same. So RTT is very much on the brain, working on the brain. So I want to say to also work with the heart and the gut brain as well. And it's kind of shocking because quite often we're out of balance. So with things are going on in our head and things like that, but we're not really asking our heart the question, and we're not asking the gut the question as well. So when we do that, we become in balance. And I was kind of really shocked how that did work, getting our thoughts and what the answer is from, you know, because your gut could be saying, oh my God, don't do it. Your head could be saying, do it or don't do it. We're in conflict. So it helps us balance. That's what.